about what I said, this multidimensional. I really learned through all the research we did after.
Okay. Let's talk about the research, Terry. Let's turn to you for a second. So this book, I mean, this is a spy thriller. This is not what people expected. I mean, I thought, what kind of fascinating life could Pucci have had before he became one of the most iconic fashion designers of all time, dressing the most famous stars of Hollywood? I had no idea. So you start digging into the archives, and I actually heard an interview with you, which is fascinating, about these files, these totally disorderly files of just chaos, pure chaos in Maryland, and how you managed to find gold in these archives. So tell us about this moment of discovery and what you found out.
Yeah, so the drama in the research was that we had to, number one, receive a clue, which we actually found in a small book that was self-published that cited a title that was called the Report of Marchese Emilio Pucci and his connection with the Ciano Diaries. Now, for most of listeners today, we probably don't know what Ciano Diaries means, but essentially, this was the inside recordings of every meeting that Mussolini and Hitler had in their very tumultuous relationship, which means that Mussolini was not a partner in the so-called Axis. He was a servant, and he was treated like that. And all the Italians felt that. In fact, very few Italians wanted to go into the war. This was something that Mussolini decided on impulse. To have this reality exposed, all of that was so dangerous for both Mussolini and Hitler that they wanted to grab these diaries and destroy them. They had been written by the foreign minister, who happened to be, like Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of Mussolini. So they're very graphic, and they're deeply troubling, highly embarrassing. And what happened in Emilio's life is that he was approached by Mussolini's daughter to help her take these diaries and to deliver them to the Allies. He knew that he was the only person who could help her. Her husband was on death row. Imagine Trump putting Kushner on death row. He would soon be executed. So in this journey, Emilio finds himself from being a World War II pilot, a bomber pilot who's decorated, survived all sorts of missions, and then all of a sudden, he's thrown into this John le Carré thriller where he's trying to help, yes, Edo Mussolini escape, but also these diaries are going to change history. And we really sincerely believe he knew this because he had been educated in America. He knew the other way of viewing this war. And in his journey, this John le Carré spy thriller opens up with him being asked by her to help her with these diaries, to get them into American hands, where the Americans in Geneva, in Bern, in the capital of Switzerland. Who is it? Allen Dulles, who would then become the head of the CIA. And so this whole story revolves around this backstory of Emilio that was always secret. It was untold. It was a hidden history. And partly because of what Idanna said, that nobody wanted to talk about this, but also it was so complicated. At that time, Italy was divided in two. There were the Repubblichini of the neo-fascists. There was the partisans. There was a civil war. No matter what you did, people pointed and accused. He took it on himself to defy both Hitler, the SS, Mussolini, everyone, and put his life at risk. Not only did the diaries end up in Dulles's hands in Bern that he arranged, But he had been captured by the Gestapo, tortured by the SS and the Gestapo for a number of days, and miraculously escaped through a German double spy. But the whole point is, at the end, a report was asked to be written. And we found this in the middle of the archives of the OSS in Maryland. And that was the trigger which Emilio wrote his own story. And we used it in the book to help narrate us through this.